Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigfoot Club. Robert Jesse Dominguez, Ash Tucker, Stephen Robert Dominguez, Earl the Pearl Kennedy. Believe in us, believe in Bigfoot Club, because we are too sweet.
This is Matt Knapp of Bigfoot Crossroads, and you're listening to Bigfoot Club Podcast. Wow!
Hey everybody, Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club Season 2, Episode 29. I just wanted to do a quick reminder for everybody that's listening to us on all the platforms, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeart, Pandora, Alexa, YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating, give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a comment. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, check us out on Facebook. We're at Bigfoot Club 1 Facebook page. We're also on Twitter, so it's also as Bigfoot Club 1. So follow us on Twitter as well. We'll be posting all the podcasts, all the changes, all the updates. We'll be on those social media streams. So check us out on that. I also wanted to add, if you have any stories regarding Bigfoot or paranormal or just strange stories, if you want to share them with us, we'll talk about them on the air. Or if you want to come onto the show and talk about them, we can do that too. Please reach out to us at bigfootclub1@gmail.com, and we'll talk about these stories on the show. Also, if you are on YouTube, check out Bigfoot Crossroads and Cryptid Tales. That's run by Matt Knapp. It's pretty good stuff. I don't miss an episode. And also check out Crazy Cat Paranormal Speaks. They're on all the platforms as well with John and Cecilia Clark. Today we're going to be talking to Ash's nephew, Tyler, and he's going to be talking to us about the Wendigo, Slender Man, and Siren Head. So I hope you enjoy it. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
So this is a special edition of Bigfoot Club. With me always is Ash. And Ash, I'll let you introduce.
Well, I think he can probably speak for himself. Right?
Not very good.
Not very good. Well, you can just try.
Okay, so my name is Tyler. I'm Ashley's... What's his name again?
Nephew.
Nephew.
My boy
that's
niece.
What it is.
My boy niece.
Sorry, I have half a brain cell.
It's okay. It's okay. We just
all good.
We just got drunk off pizza. So
Yeah. I love pizza, man. Yeah.
pizza's good.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on your sister to come over here, right?
Yeah.
So she's
not going to do it.
She's not in her head now. So.
No.
So what do you guys want to talk about? Did you want to talk about Slender Man?
Well, I was kind of thinking about, the Wendigo.
The Wendigo? We can talk about Wendigo, but we can throw in Slender Man too if you want to.
We can just, talk about anything. I'm down for anything.
Okay, so Wendigo. School me on that, because the only thing I'll be honest with you, the only thing I know about Wendigo they came on the X-Men comic books.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like a Native American curse that was placed on someone, and he turned into a Wendigo, and he was like a cannibal. He ate people and stuff like that in the Pacific Northwest or in Canada region or something like that. So
Okay, here's the thing about the Wendigo.
mm-hmm.
A lot of people get a lot of things wrong.
Right.
First of all, they don't look anything like what the internet typically portrays them as. Not like anything like a beast or anything like that. They're just really tall, thin humans with ashen skin, with sharp teeth.
So they almost look white.
Kind of,
right?
yeah.
Right.
They got that sort of dead color to them, like a
Okay.
rotting corpse.
Alrighty. So where does these Wendigos? What region are they normally at?
Well, it's like you said, sort of the Pacific Northwest and
Okay.
that sort of area.
Right. Okay. So am I right? Is it a Native American curse or?
It's less of a curse and sort of a consequence.
Gotcha.
If you are to perform cannibalism in the winter months and then die of starvation anyway, you'll become a Wendigo.
Right.
You can also be turned into a Wendigo by another Wendigo by unknown means.
So if you're scratched, harmed, or bitten by another Wendigo, you can turn into a Wendigo?
Something along those lines.
So it's almost like a werewolf.
Kind of, but worse.
Bigger?
Just, they can, according to the sort of legends that are around these guys, they can grow to be about as big as a pine tree.
That's pretty dang big, man.
Yeah, I know. It usually takes a while for them to get to that size, though.
Do you think people misidentify them as a Bigfoot?
They're too thin for that, and they have literally no fur, so
Okay.
no.
Who do you think a Bigfoot and a Wendigo's ever like cross paths?
I kind of doubt it.
When they're in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, Bigfoots are all over the Pacific Northwest.
See, I think that Bigfoot could possibly be a real thing. We don't really know. There's not quite enough evidence for
Right.
it yet. But with the Wendigo, it's more of a mythical thing. We have practically no evidence about this aside
Right.
from a few stories.
This is just like a lore or like urban legend, all that stuff.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Ash, you want to chime in on this?
No, I'm good. I don't know. You're off to a good start here, man.
Okay. All right. Wendigo. Where did you first hear about Wendigos and what got you attracted to it?
I think that the first time I ever saw or heard about Wendigo was a game theory about Dead by Daylight or something like that. It's something along those lines. It's about this sort of... It's basically set up like a campy horror movie, and it's all about choice. Mm-hmm. You make the wrong sort of choice, and something bad could happen. Like, the character that you're controlling could get eaten by a Wendigo, or die by natural causes, or get killed by the main killer that's running around.
So this is like a game, or this is like a
Yeah, it's a game.
it's like a board game or video game?
It's like a point-and-click adventure game.
Oh, okay. So this got you involved or interested in Wendigos, and
Yes.
did you do like any research, read any books? Did you look online?
I looked pretty much everywhere on these guys.
Okay.
I'm really into them. Now, the canon look for them is actually not the one that I like. I like the way that the internet portrays them in terms of looks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's sort of like a mix of different animals. Human, deer, bear, and otter.
Mm-hmm.
It has the skull and antlers of a deer, and that's just completely bare. It's just exposed bone. It has the sort of forearms and claws of a bear.
Mm-hmm.
It has sort of like this posture and stance of a human. It has the legs of a deer and the tail of an otter.
Yeah. Okay. Like I was telling you, the first time I ever read anything about the Wendigo was probably in 1978. It was an issue of the X-Men, and Wolverine and Nightcrawler and I think they were visiting Alpha Flight in Canada, and they ran across the Wendigo. The Wendigo on the comic book looked like, to me, it looked like a Bigfoot with a tail, a white Bigfoot with a tail, had long hair, and it had like sharp claws and like sharp teeth, and it was attacking like campers, like people that were camping and stuff like that. And then later on, I read another comic book called the BPRD, Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense, is the Hellboy comic book, and they faced a Wendigo, but this one looked like you said, a skinny, tall, lanky creature that had like fangs and would just eat people, and like it was like, I think one of the soldiers was turning into a Wendigo, and he was cursed, and so in order to free him, you had to kill him, or he had to give it to someone else. So that's where the first time I actually heard about the Wendigo. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. So But I like it. I like your take on it.
There's a really good movie. Of course, it doesn't look like that in there.
Yeah.
It's called Ravenous. I think it came out in the 90s, but it's got, I think it's Guy Pearce in it.
Oh, I like Guy Pearce.
And it's kind of a dark comedy, but it's kind of an offshoot of the Donner Party story where this guy, Guy Pearce's character, he's in this outpost because they think that like he's this hero in this war, but really like he hid under all these dead bodies and was hiding from the enemy, and then come back later after everyone thought everyone was dead and killed everybody. Mm-hmm. It's like, we know what you did. We're going to pretend like you're a hero, but we're going to send you off into the middle of the woods.
So was Guy Pearce the Wendigo, or
no? They found this guy that told them all this story. Like, oh, this guy went crazy. We were trapped in the mountains, and he went nuts and started killing and eating everybody. Because at first we were just eating the dead, and then he just got all crazy. But then it turned out it was him, and that's why he had turned into a Wendigo.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually kind of lied.
You lied?
The first
Why would
time
you do that, Tyler?
The first time I ever heard or saw a Wendigo was when Ashley introduced me into Supernatural for the first time.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's the second episode.
Yeah, it was like the Wendigo was mimicking voices of other campers and luring them to their deaths.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a cannibal as well on that one too.
Yeah,
right?
like it would kidnap people and,
That's the main
and
consistent
store them.
sort of thing with the Wendigo. It's a cannibal.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, because like in a lot of cultures they say when you consume a human, you consume part of their soul, and it gives you, supernatural powers.
Creepy.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to share about the Wendigo?
Well, typically they represent death, destruction, and corruption, and, starvation.
Yeah.
And cannibalism. The sort of representation kind of varies when it comes to media. Usually it will just represent, starvation. But sometimes it will be shown as this sort of unstoppable, destructive force. Now, I don't know how you can really kill a Wendigo aside from this. Apparently, if you rip out their heart and burn it in an incredibly strong bonfire, that's how you kill them. Because otherwise, they'll just keep fighting.
That's kind of hard to do. Seeing how they're like really tall and strong and menacing.
Right.
They are also extremely fast. They move in an almost spider-like manner.
Yeah.
Their incredibly long limbs allow them to traverse land very quickly. Mm-hmm. At least in the typical sort of interpretation. Like the original sort of way that they were. Nowadays, they're kind of just interpreted as being, as fast as a deer.
Right.
And as powerful as a bear. And as smart as a human.
That to me, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
That's some scary stuff. I would not want to be in the Pacific Northwest and run into one of those. I'd rather face a Bigfoot.
Yeah. You're safer.
So I like it. Awesome.
When are you going to go out in the woods with us, Tyler?
I'm not entirely sure.
Would you want to?
As long as you let me bring a weapon.
A weapon. You won't need it.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the car without a knife or something.
You won't need it.
We're close to hand-to-hand combat.
I don't want anybody stealing me and selling me for potatoes.
So you're more worried about hillbillies than you are about a Bigfoot?
Well, that sort of thing is rare than being kidnapped.
I don't know.
Like, just today, there were 2 child abduction messages on my phone.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what unfortunately, that's been happening a lot around here lately. But we do live in a big metroplex, so...
Yeah, and you get turned into potato salad.
You get turned into potato salad.
Very good.
Mom is very confused.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
How do we go from Wendigo to potato salad?
It's just one of those things.
Completely changing the subject.
That's the name of that's the title of the episode.
Yeah.
Let's go to a creature that has not been around for very long and has actually been fabricated by the internet. Siren Head.
Siren Head, yeah.
I don't know this much about
You don't know
this.
that? It's relatively new.
So,
Well, like his name implies, instead of having a normal head, he has a set of sirens on top of his head, substituting his head, that contain mouths full of sharp, jagged teeth. He is a very tall creature, bordering on 40 feet at times. He has a mummified sort of look to his skin, which is tightly sort of drawn on his frame. It has a sort of rust color to it. Usually what this creature will do is walk around in the forest imitating voices, video broadcasts like this, storm broadcasts, weather notifications, all sorts of stuff.
what? How was this brought on? I mean, is there? It was just all you said. It was urban legend, or it was?
It was brought about by a singular sketch by a man, made by a man, by the name of Trevor Henderson. Mm-hmm. He is known for creating a variety of twisted and evil-looking creatures, sort of reminiscent of Lovecraftian horror.
Okay. So he posted this on the internet and said it was in this one location, or
It was very it had very little information aside from what it does and what it is. It doesn't entail where it came from, why it does anything that it does, or if there's multiples. In fact, he released a second sketch that showed multiples of this creature with different head arrangements, one even resembling a highway lighting pole.
interesting. So, do you think he posted this stuff and then people just ran with the stories and say, "Hey, you know, this is true," or "Hey, this is over here in this area," or "Hey, I was attacked by this"?
It's a very sort of Slender Man situation. Some people come up with certain things. Some people come up with theories about the whole thing.
I've mostly just seen
There's
memes
a big
saying that like this is the next thing that's going to happen in
Oh, I
2020.
The biggest thing that's been going around is whether there are multiple species of Siren Head or it's just the same creature changing its head arrangements.
Oh, like Return to Oz.
Or Ganesh? Because Ganesh was the god, right?
That had his head, and
Cut
then they
off.
replaced it with the elephant.
With the elephant head. That's
He's
kinda,
right over there, man.
Yeah.
Ganesh.
Did I say it wrong?
I don't know. I think there's several ways. Probably neither of them are right.
Ganesh. I was told Ganesh. So interesting. So this does this fascinate you more than the Wendigo, or are you just the part of the same?
A lot of these things are equally fascinating towards me. Siren Head, it's a bit confusing though. It's sort of a more stalkerish horror.
You gotta
than the Wendigo.
Get up a little.
So okay, now you were saying about the Siren Head.
Usually, how it will hunt is that it will slowly stalk its prey over the course of who the hell knows days.
Hey.
Several days has been the sort of max reported
Yeah.
thing. It will lure in and sort of confuse and disorient its prey
Right.
with a variety of different sounds, including air raid sirens and such.
So sort of like what's it called when the Bigfoot does the sound or lions? I forgot.
Infrasound?
Infrasound. I can never get that. So it's sort of like infrasound, where it'll paralyze its victim.
Not just paralyzed, apparently it can bring up its sounds to such a frequency that it can cause human heads to explode.
Oh my goodness.
So he wouldn't even have to. He just doesn't even have to touch him. He just like.
This was only in a recorded situation where it was actually threatened, however.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna throw you for a loop here. Who do you think would win in a fight between the Wendigo and Siren Head?
Siren Head all the way. It kind of depends.
Okay, I got a really hard one for you. Who would win in a fight between Siren Head and Godzilla?
Godzilla. There's no way that Siren Head could withstand the force of like a nuke and concentrate it into a few feet wide beam.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think even his tail would just hit him
and just twang him
even
into a
being
tree.
around him would likely cause Siren Head some detriment because of the radiation. We don't really know though.
Yeah.
Because Siren Head is still relatively new.
What if it made it more powerful, though?
That's awkward silent there.
Like, what if the radiation, like,
made him powerful. He grew.
Again, the size difference probably wouldn't even really matter. We don't really know his durability yet, but I'm assuming that it's not really that
I
big.
still need to know more about the mythology of it.
It's mostly been shown that he is phased by simple rifles.
Okay.
At the size that he currently
I
is.
have another one.
What?
With Superman or Godzilla.
That is still highly up for debate, but my money's still on Godzilla.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm biased, but also because...
You're a little biased, but you're pretty biased towards Superman, too, so that's why I asked.
Not really as much as I used to be.
Okay.
Likely, Godzilla's biggest feat of durability is when he was sent into a black hole.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was about a third of his size. Not only was he not affected by it, but he escaped from it.
How did he escape from it? Did he do like that backwards fly thingy?
No, but it's still unknown as to how he escaped.
Well, that
from
just
it.
seems like a logical way if he has like just use his atomic breath as thrust because it's space.
Yeah, and then use his tail as a rudder.
It has been confirmed that his atomic breath is powerful enough to destroy a moon-sized planetoid.
Well,
in a single blast.
I mean, see, that would probably push him pretty far, pretty fast.
You know what I think?
If there's no gravity, especially.
I think we should get Mandy on this discussion as well.
If Godzilla was in space, could he use his atomic breath to shoot himself out of a black hole?
Likely. But he probably wouldn't be fast enough. He would probably have to end up canceling it out more than anything.
If he was stuck in a black hole and he got out, most people would be, the people that knew Godzilla would probably be dead, and because time doesn't exist there. And if he got out, it'd be like years, but hundreds of years later, right?
Well, in the movie where he was sucked into a black hole, it was shown that a couple weeks had gone by before he had escaped.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks in a black hole
did not even face him.
Well, no, with like time, that's like, I don't know, could be 100 years or 70 years or something like that. So everybody who knew Godzilla knew that he was on the Earth probably be dead. And he got back and he goes, "Hey, who's this new guy? He's big. He's like a lizard. He's king of monsters. Mm-hmm. Who is this guy?" And there would be a whole new crowd of people.
Oh no, there goes Tokyo. You know what?
1954.
Do you know what, Tyler?
Huh?
Robert still hasn't watched King of the Monsters.
I haven't.
Dude.
I know.
Why?
I don't know.
For you, I have it on Blu-ray at home.
Man. Maybe, I could watch it from there. Why? No, never. Watch it there.
It is actually on Hulu.
Yeah, it's actually on HBO too, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's on our
Well,
Hulu.
at least we have
I actually queued it a couple times on HBO, but I never got to it. I think my mom called me or something, and then emailed me, or I don't know, something.
Excuses, man.
I know.
Tyler saw it twice in theaters.
Yeah, he's hardcore, man. Hardcore, you want some more?
Yeah.
Eventually.
He's like,
sometime.
I don't know.
November.
Yeah, he goes, I don't know. I'm just gonna agree with you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I got distracted about what you were talking about.
So, any other urban urban legends, myths that you want to talk about? So we talked about the Wendigo, Siren Head.
Not anything comes to mind aside from Slender Man, but everybody's heard of that.
I would actually like to hear more about it because this is a subject I've actually been like Indrid Cole's one. This is probably 2, Slender Man.
Really?
Yeah. So I've always been interested in Slender Man. The concept of it is just like I've had dreams about him, and I don't know why. It's like I'm in the woods. I don't think I've ever told anybody this dream. This first time I actually talked about it. I've had several dreams where I was in the woods, and it was lightning and it was windy, and it was like the wind was blowing so hard where I couldn't hear like stuff around me. I couldn't hear if anybody was walking up on me, and like whenever the lightning would hit, could see in the woods. I could see trees, and then I could see a glimpse of him behind a tree peeking over, looking at me. And then it would get dark and it would lighten again and he would be gone.
When did you start having those?
Probably about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Probably about 2 years ago. And then it's slowly every now and then would come up. And I would have like maybe one dream like every 6 months. And then it would come about again. So I'd always have this dream about, and like I said, in the woods, lightning, and I'd always run into him. But I don't know if he was a threat or if he was following me or he was, I don't know, interested in talking. I don't know. It was just weird dream.
The main thing that you need to know about Slender Man is that he is dangerous.
Yeah.
Avoid him any way you can at all costs. Because as soon as his attention's on you, you are not going to survive.
Yeah. Is he into possession? I don't know. I'm asking a question because I don't know. Is he into possession?
He's not as much as a spirit as much as a physical being, like Cthulhu. Think Cthulhu.
Uh-huh.
He's an extremely powerful being, and he can pretty much manipulate anybody that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He has been shown to have a slight radiation frequency given off by him, because the main characteristic about him is that he disrupts electronics.
Got it.
Like cameras and such.
So how is that compared to Slender Man, though?
I was talking about him just now.
I thought you were talking about this other god, or this other deal.
Now, there's been a lot of debates going around about Slender Man.
Okay.
Some people think that he's a tulpa. Some people think that he's some sort of ancient being that's been around ever since everything.
Mm-hmm. You think he is a part of nature? Like, what am I trying to think of? It's, you know what I'm talking about? Like the spirit of nature that was on...
The elementals.
Elementos. Do you think he's Elemento?
No, he's far too dark for that.
Well,
in fact, one of his first confirmed cases of his kills was that a man was impaled on a tree branch high up in a tree,
mm-hmm.
and at the base of the tree were his organs, sealed in plastic bags. And they were cut almost surgically perfect.
Okay. And what city was this in? Do you recall?
I can't remember the location, but it was the main sort of brutality of this kill and oddity of it is what brought my attention about it.
Oh, okay.
well, I mean, you have done like the origin story and everything, like where he comes from.
Well, nobody really knows where he came from.
What
exactly?
What do you think where he came from? Or what have you heard?
Everything from being a tulpa to an ancient creature, like I said.
Oh, okay.
My interpretation is that he's just a thing.
Okay.
Something that just exists.
I thought, because I had heard that he was kind of like the Siren guy, or he was an urban legend that was created.
That's the thing that's been going around. People are saying that Siren Head is like the new Slender Man.
Well,
Right.
I mean, they were both made for like creepypasta or whatever. That's just
Right.
somebody did some artwork and created the story. It's kind of interesting on the Slender Man things because when it came out, of course, it turned into like a meme and things like that, and it kind of got to where people believed it, but they didn't know that it's just like any urban legend. And
Right.
a friend of a friend of a friend, and then it's telephone,
Yeah.
where it just kind of changes.
Okay.
So, the thing about this guy is that he isn't very consistent with himself. There are a few consistencies about him, but his sort of abilities and appearance tends to vary from report to report.
Mm-hmm.
Some report him being 9 feet tall. Some report him being as tall as trees.
Mm-hmm.
Some report him to be just the same size as an average man
Right.
with just disproportionate limbs. Some report him have multiple arms. Some have him with multiple tentacles springing out of his back.
All the cases that I've read about or I've seen is like he's almost like wearing a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he actually is. But nobody really knows if it's actual clothing or just part of his physical appearance.
Right. Do you think the people who do see him, project what they want to when they see him, like with like multiple arms or tentacles or something with a suit? Like a certain person will see him the way they want to.
What I think is that he tends to change his appearance, but keep it altogether the same.
So people see him differently, or
He tends to change whenever he wants,
Right.
is what I think.
so not everybody sees him the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like wearing a new set of clothes every now and then.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll admit I've been intrigued with this story. I don't know why. I just have, and like when I said I had the dreams, it's
It does bring up something kind of primordial,
yeah,
like that knee-jerk gut feeling, because it's something faceless and looming, and
yeah, ominous.
because the pictures that came up, it was kind of like what you in your dream
Right.
was like, where it's just like, oh, there it is in the background, and then it's closer and it's closer, and it's
Yeah.
with these kids, and that's the story. So it
Yeah.
snatches kids.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I see all the time. Is it's like a playground,
Mm-hmm.
like a jungle gym or something. I can't remember, swings or jungle gym. And back in the distance on the far left, you could see someone really tall, like almost taller than a tree, really thin, looking at these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that in itself is just creepy in itself. And so I don't know. It kind of bugs me and stuff like that. But I don't know. I've always been intrigued by it. So almost the same as Bigfoot. So I don't know. Any more thoughts on that, Tyler? Dang it.
Unprofessional.
Not really.
Not really.
All I can think of.
There's anything that you want to know from Tyler, Robert?
Yeah, I always do.
You got some questions? Yep.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I went. For,
You wanna talk about that really quick?
Yeah, I actually went as him for Halloween once.
Do you what year? Last year or the year before? Or?
I think that
It was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Okay.
It's hard to tell time anymore.
I actually didn't stay out that long that night because of how hot the costume actually was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it covered covered like your face, everything, right?
Yeah. By the time I got home, I was like sweating buckets, and I'd only gone out for like an hour or so.
Did anybody know who you were? Not that they knew it was Tyler, but they knew the costume.
Yeah, tons of people knew.
Okay. So did that make you happy and like?
I actually scared some people as well. Actually, legitimately scared
Did that
them.
make you happy?
Yes, very.
Was it hotter than your Viking costume?
Yes.
Wow. It was kind of cold that night, though, but...
Yeah, if it's cold and then you're still sweating, man, that's a hot costume. Do you still have it?
Yeah. It's just kind of disassembled. There were multiple layers to the costume.
Yeah.
The first part of it was sort of like this sort of full body suit. Mm-hmm. And then I put on some actual formal clothing that looked a bit more close to the sort of original work.
Yeah. So this year, do you think about putting on the same suit but just alter it a little bit, kind of like the way he does it?
No, actually, I have something else in mind.
What do you have planned for this year?
W.D. Gaster from Undertale.
Oh.
Okay.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
I can talk about his appearance and what he can possibly do, but I won't go into his background because that is incredibly complex and pretty sort of promised to make a lot of people angry in the comment section.
Okay.
We welcome angry people in the comment section.
Yeah, we kind of... This is unrestricted.
Yeah.
Which means that you can talk about whatever you want.
Anything you
I
want.
don't really want to get into it because of how
Okay.
complex it is.
Okay.
Okay, can you narrow it down? Can you summarize it? Where it's like...
Well, the basics that we know about him is that he was the royal scientist of the underground. But one day he fell into his creation. We don't know whether that creation was the core or the determination extractor or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
We just know that one day he fell into his creation.
Gotcha.
The thing about Yester is that he's incredibly mysterious. Very little is known about him.
Mm-hmm.
The only things that we know are what his appearance is and normally what he can do.
So what can he do?
He can timeline jump. He has the ability to control laser shooting skulls called Gaster Blasters.
Okay.
Nice.
He can fire wingdings from his whole skeletal hands.
Uh-huh.
And all sorts of stuff. Basically anything sort of relating to code in a game he can control.
Wow. He sounds like Thanos.
Yeah, this guy... And actually, Gaster could hypothetically be more powerful than Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really... That's just sort of my bias, though. That's my idea
Right.
of it.
So this costume you're going to be wearing, explain to everybody how it's going to look.
Think sort of like a really dark, sort of tattered scientist cloak.
Okay.
He also wears a white turtleneck
Mm-hmm.
and black pants and black dress shoes.
Yeah.
So he's very formal looking.
Looks like somebody from NASA.
But the main thing about
Robert, who says that?
The main thing about this guy is
Uh-huh.
his face.
Yeah.
He has 2 empty eye sockets and 2 cracks running up and down his face.
Gotcha.
One on his right eye, which goes to the back of his skull, and the second one going down to his mouth, which is always in a permanent creepy grin.
Mm-hmm. That is kind of creepy.
His hands are completely skeletal, and they have holes in their palms.
Yeah.
So, he's also very thin, and usually portrayed to being very tall.
Mm.
Sometimes bordering on 8 feet at times.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know that much about this character at all. Are you? Let me just ask you. When you go out as Halloween on it, is it going to bother you that people are not going to know this character?
I don't really care if nobody is going to understand who it is.
Right.
I just want to creep people out.
I like your style, man.
Either the thing with my costumes is that I always go for something scary or for something cool.
So in your mind, is this both scary and cool?
Yes.
Okay.
More scary than cool, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The main body is sort of down already. We already got in mind what we're going to get. But it's the mask and the sort of hands thing that it's
The
gonna
skeletal
be,
hands, you gotta be able to figure
with the
out.
holes in their palms.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and all that. That's going to be the main problem.
I got you. So we did a show a couple weeks on Indrid Cole. Do you know anything about Indrid Cole, or have you ever?
Say it again.
Indrid Cole.
Andrid Cole?
Yeah.
Cold. Like
Cold.
burr.
Like COLD. Cold.
Not really. I don't know what that is.
What about the Mothman?
Okay, I know about that, but not much.
What do you know about Mothman?
I know that his name doesn't mean anything, and he just kind of resembles a bat-like creature.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Pretty cool. that's pretty cool because most people don't even know about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought maybe you'd be interested in that one because he's kind of creepy a little bit.
No.
He's
I don't think he's creepy. I think he's a messiah.
He's portrayed as creepy.
Well, because people described him as the smiling man, so anybody that draws a picture of him has to do it like
his ear to ear,
like the Joker or whatever,
Yeah, he was seen
exaggerated.
He was seen in West Virginia before the Mothman was all the sightings of the Mothman. He appeared there. He met some guy off the freeway and came off of a spaceship. And
speaking of sort of like the Joker and stuff like that, what are y'all's favorite villains in media and all that mess?
like in comic book stuff or just
anything at all, any villain ever.
That's too hard.
My favorite villain. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me think for a minute. I want to say, and this is easy for me at first. I want to say it's kind of a villain, but it's not. But I've always liked Darth Vader because he was a bad father. I guess he was a bad father.
He was a horrible father.
He was a bad father.
He was responsible for the genocide of millions.
Yeah, and at the very end, he became a good guy.
Yeah,
he turned.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess he's kind of a bad guy, kind of good guy. I don't know.
Started out as a bad guy, really bad guy.
Yeah.
But then he turned good in the end, just before his death.
If I had to say anybody, it'd probably be Darth Vader. Ash?
No, I reject having to answer that question.
Is it too complex?
It's too complex.
Okay. What's your favorite movie villain? No?
No, can't do it. It's too hard.
What's your favorite show villain?
Justin Crow.
Justin Crow?
Yeah.
Who the hell is that?
From Carnival.
Carnival.
From Carnival, yeah.
At least I got an answer on that one, so I didn't think
he's really good. It's Clancy Brown. He plays a really good villain.
Yeah.
What about favorite comic book villain?
But he's like a fall from grace villain.
Yeah.
Like he's fighting with his own nature and then finally gives into it. And,
Like Lucifer.
Yeah, more or less.
All right.
Yeah.
Sort of like Crowley.
Yeah. No, Crowley was always bad. His mom sold him for 2 pigs.
Yeah.
She could have got 3.
How about you, Tyler? What's your favorite villain?
Okay, it's a tie between Destroyer and Carnage.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Venom, right?
Yeah.
Take that and dial it up
Carnage, yeah.
to 50.
We're aware of Carnage.
Carnage was disassembled by the Sentry. The character.
The thing about Carnage is that he's like the Joker, but worse.
Yeah, he's a serial killer with a symbiote.
Okay.
Oh, I already knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, whatever. So he's your favorite?
Y'all should fight about
It's
that.
a tie between him and Destroyer.
Yeah.
Destroyer is, well, he's scary, to say the least. He's bigger than Godzilla. He's bright red, like blood red. He's like a mutated sort of trilobite.
Yeah.
And he looks like the devil if he had a child with a xenomorph.
Okay. So he can beat Godzilla then?
He came very close to it in his burning form, no less, which is already an impressive feat because burning form has been shown to be Godzilla's strongest form by far. Because
just as downtown Boston, right?
yeah, because we saw in the movie that he took on a full-strength Ghidorah in that form and took him out in 3 blasts of his sort of
Spoiler.
super nuclear pulse. Well, by now I'm pretty sure that everybody has watched it.
No, yeah, almost everybody.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. Thanks a lot for...
Sorry. I don't really care about spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah, I can tell.
He doesn't care that he spoiled it for you. Whatever.
So who would win a fight between Destroyer and Carnage?
Destroyer.
By 50 miles.
Just go. Sploosh. What if Destroyer got a symbiote on it?
He would become the scariest life form in the entire
Right.
universe.
That would be horrible.
Yeah.
So
I'd reckon that, okay, this is going to make a lot of people mad, but I'm going to say that Godzilla could possibly beat One Punch Man in a one-on-one fight.
Well, yeah, he's Godzilla.
it's Godzilla. Why would that make people mad?
Godzilla wins everything.
Well, One Punch Man is called
this.
One Punch Man for a reason.
Yeah, but he's not punching Godzilla. He's punching men's.
Yeah.
Superhumans that are known to take on entire armies
But
and
they're still not
enslave entire
Godzilla.
solar systems.
Yeah, I got my money on Godzilla, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Maybe it's the 3
I can't
teraton
believe that
worth
we're
of
the ones having to argue that Godzilla would win.
Maybe it's the 3 teraton worth of energy coming out of his mouth. That's the main thing.
It's quite possible.
Or the fact that I survived 300 nukes being dropped at him all at once.
Yeah.
That's like breakfast, right?
That's like the black hole.
Yeah.
He likes that.
Yeah. He got out of that, dude. Come on. So,
Like this.
with his tail as a rudder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know the way that a mantis, or like a shrimp, swims around, or a nautilus?
Yeah.
That's the way he flies around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't really know where he's going, but he can get
He
there
just
pretty
shoots
quick.
backward.
I was going to say, he's going to get there.
Yeah.
It's been confirmed that the atomic breath can actually travel at like 2.8 Mach. So
Okay.
he's pretty fast.
Fast backwards.
Yeah. He goes, damn it, I didn't mean him to go here. I guess I got to double back. So,
I kind of want to
He
see
needs
that
a
again.
mirror. He needs
That's why he stays on the ground.
I know. I didn't mean to be in Toledo.
Oh no, there goes Toledo.
Sorry. Oh, man.
I knew that I should have taken that right turn in Albuquerque.
Hey, we're like 45 seconds in.
Okay, we got 15 minutes.
Sweet. So we got 15 minutes to kill, Tyler.
So Tyler, what is your theory on Bigfoot?
I think that he's he started out as a person who separated from mankind and didn't evolve the same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he got stuck in time for a bit and eventually evolved into a species.
So, do you think he understands that he's a Bigfoot and he stays away from man?
Well, it's kind of varied on how smart Sasquatch is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're portrayed as being as smart as humans. Sometimes they're as smart as gorillas. Sometimes they're just as smart as regular monkeys. Sometimes they're known to have tools. Sometimes they're just known to beat on trees.
Well, the beating on trees is a form of communication.
Communication.
Which is in and itself a pretty strong marker.
It's like
Sometimes
like a warning. It's like a warning signal.
It's like,
Sometimes
there's
he's
people
even-
over here.
Sometimes he's even portrayed as being a savage beast that attacks without mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some reported cases where that does happen. More
Yep.
often than not, no. But it does happen. But usually a lot of times when they're aggressive, they don't actually attack people.
Yeah, they portray as being aggressive. Like it's almost like a peacock where they shake trees and show their teeth and stand real tall and beat their chest and.
It's almost like a gorilla scenario. You know that a gorilla could easily tear you limb from limb,
Yeah,
but they're not really all that violent unless you look
Right.
them in the eye.
yeah.
Most great apes aren't, except for chimpanzees
Yeah, they're
are
savages.
really
Those-
really aggressive.
Those are savages.
Very, very territorial.
But there's subspecies like the bonobos and the billy apes and stuff that aren't aggressive, but there might be more intelligent.
Orangutans are known to eat monkeys, but I don't really see them as being that aggressive.
What was that?
This.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
thought I heard a dog. Or
Yeah,
something.
that's what it sounded like.
Okay.
But But yeah, that's the train of thought.
It's okay. Yeah, they've been known to be aggressive. I mean, I've interviewed like I want to say hundreds of people, and maybe I've had like maybe 5 out of the 100 that said they were aggressive or they were like physical with a person.
So 5 times out of 100, you're going to get attacked.
Right. I mean, it was like in situations where mating was involved on one, and another one was like they snuck up on him when he was asleep, and it just popped up and pushed someone over.
Well, like your buddy when he got pushed down, he was walking around.
Yeah.
And they was trying to hide from him, right? And they just kind of walked up on him, and he's just like, "Oh, whoosh," and just ran away.
Yeah, so it's almost like a defensive mechanism where they have to be physical.
They'll avoid if they can.
Also
more often than
tends
not.
to vary as well. I've heard that some are strong enough to pick up a man, and some can break a human in half.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, these things are huge. They're huge.
Their size actually varies on where you're at.
Right.
In Alaska, they can be huge, but down in Florida, they tend to be about the same size as a normal human.
Well, the reports I've gotten out of Florida is that they're still tall.
Yeah.
But like the ones like
they're
in
more average,
like the Pacific Northwest, they're anywhere between like 900 to 800 pounds. The ones in like Florida and Texas probably like between 300 and 500 pounds. Yeah. It just depends. Yeah. I think it depends on the climate and the heat and all that stuff. So, so they're probably like in Texas and Florida, they're probably like burn a lot of calories, and they have to eat a lot and they're on the move. And so that's just my theory on it. So what about the Loch Ness Monster? Are you interested in stuff like that?
That is actually my personally favorite cryptid.
You know that there was a sighting recently, like, what was that, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I can't remember. It was in Loch Ness, right?
Yeah.
It was in Loch Ness, yeah. So it was like the back of it, right?
My main issue with Nessie is that a lot of people think that she's fake, but there's still some evidence that she could possibly be real.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people have been saying, like, it's been debunked that she's not real. There's no way. But think. Reptiles have really long metabolic rates.
Yeah.
They don't really need to eat that much for very long.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that an evolved plesiosaur wouldn't be any different?
Well, here's one theory that I've heard recently. Okay, you know that the Urquhart Castle is right there.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard of, I think it was Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
That was out there. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think so.
And he was into like ritualistic magics. And one theory is around the same time he was hanging out at that castle and was performing ritualistic spells, which could have been also theoretically communicating with not terrestrials, but extra-dimensional beings.
Right. I was about to say dimensional, so yeah.
That this was around the same time when a lot of sightings were going on in the loch. So do you think it's possible that it could be something from somewhere else?
I'm more of a scientific person when it comes to stuff like this.
Well, when it comes to things like that, that's quantum physics. That's stuff that we don't necessarily have the technology, but it's theoretical science right now.
I usually take it from an evolutionary standpoint.
Okay, well, but you can have it's something to think about. You don't necessarily have to believe that it's true, but it's interesting.
You gotta look at all the variables and stuff like that.
Because, there are quantum theories in, that renowned scientists like Talkin and whatever have made about the possibility of several different dimensions. And, a lot of people in like ancient alien or even current alien encounters think that, they say these beings exist with the ability to move back and forth between that because they have the technology.
And it's like it's almost equated to like almost like the movement of the earth and like windows and like almost like portals where maybe this thing will there's a slight movement of the window, and then
Yeah.
it'll come out and then
It's
go
like
back.
wormholes and stuff. And
Yeah.
like you know how they describe it in all the movies where you drop how they always do. Like I can't remember.
Can I drop something in on this?
Oh, okay.
I've been thinking really hard about this lately.
Okay.
And I remember this Ancient Aliens episode where they mention that if you look at the aerodynamics of a UFO, it's actually insanely
Aerodynamic.
Yes. It like can slip through the air with relative ease, and it's practically supernatural in the way it can move.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'll show you some videos that allegedly, I was talking about Billy Meyer
Yeah.
last week. That allegedly he filmed of these UFOs, or one of them is supposed to be phasing in and out. They said cloaking, but they also it's like it could be possibility that it was in and out of like a different dimension.
Or a wormhole, or it just could be that fast.
I'm gonna ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
Aleister Crowley, didn't he come up with like the genesis of the siphon, the siphon for?
Possibly. I get him and Anton LaVey's stuff mixed up sometimes, but I'm pretty sure it was
Because
Crowley.
I thought he had
Probably.
he had used some of the Egyptian siphon to create like
Yeah.
almost like a format.
He's really fascinating.
Yeah.
But he's kind of crazy too, but it's also in that way that's like, where it's like maybe we just don't know
Yeah.
exactly what he was doing, because if it is possible that, it is just what we consider to be magic
Right.
in the past, like, like lightning or whatever, we just didn't have a way to explain
Right.
it.
Express it. Yeah.
And like things that we thought were cryptids are just known animals now, like,
Yeah.
freaking elephants and giraffes and stuff,
That's actually pretty good. We should probably do a show on him,
But yeah,
Aleister Crowley,
but
because he's on a song too, right?
yeah, there's a lot of them. Bowie was into him big, and a lot of 70s rock stars. Like
Yeah.
There was okay. In the last grade that I was in, 6th grade,
right.
my science teacher made us do a project where we would design a certain creature and how to incorporate it into a certain ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was the most sort of realistic dragon that I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
It had a wyvern build. It was very large, capable of killing and eating elephants very, very easily. It had an evolved sort of system where it could breathe fire that was based off of the chemical structuring of a bombardier beetle.
Okay.
It had a sort of blade-like structure on its tail to help with aerodynamics. It was fairly light for its size, and it had the sort of horns of an ibex, which meaning very long and slightly curved.
So, what region was it at?
Africa.
Nice.
Okay.
As in, the Serengeti. Basically anywhere where large prey could be.
Devoured easily.
Yes.
What type of grade did you get for this?
I think I got a C.
That's lame.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
What's up with we need to call this.
What
teacher.
happened?
Apparently, I had to make some sort of clay model, but he didn't tell me until a week before we were going to presentate.
Yeah, because that's
I was already so far along.
That's something you would want to do, right? A clay thing, yeah.
I'm crap at clay.
I mean, but you like creatures and you.
Yeah, I'm artsy and I'm into that, but I'm more into drawing stuff with pencil and paper.
I mean, couldn't you? You didn't tell them that's what you wanted to do instead.
Well, it was kind of too late by that point.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
What?
No, we were just talking shit off microphone. Yeah, that's our buddies from the con.
This is the one we talked about, the story we talked about before, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
What is the age rating on this podcast?
Why?
I just want to know what I'm allowed to say.
Well, I don't know.
Is it PG-13, rated R? What is it?
It would be for you because you're underage.
It would be PG-13 because you're 14 years old.
Okay. Frick.
Oh, did you want to say the F word? Can I say the F word on your podcast?
But it's unrestricted for us, but not for you.
And I can be like, hey friends, go listen to me say the F word on this podcast. Are you going to tell your friends you're on a podcast?
Yeah.
I don't really have that many friends, so probably not.
Well, you could just tell them.
Yeah.
And then they
Say,
can
yeah, but you've never been on a podcast. That's
I
what-
bet they haven't.
So, you tell them you're on Bigfoot Club, brother. That's what you tell them.
Nice.
So,
When we at?
we're at 58.
All right.
You want to call it a night?
Do you got any shout outs, Tyler?
Not any shout outs that would probably return the favor.
No, like what?
I don't know, the King Beaver or Dan TDM or something like that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tyler, thanks for being on, man. I really digged
No problem.
You digged it?
this conversation. It's cool. I've always wanted to talk about Slender Man, and I didn't know anything about these other. Well, I knew about the Wendigo, but I didn't know about this other one, the Siren.
Yeah.
The Siren Getty.
The Siren Getty.
Siren Head.
Who does that?
I don't know. Me, I guess. Okay, Mandy, you can get on now if you want. You good? You sure? Dang it! I thought we were not going to get on.
Shy little girl.
So
We'll just have to record her when she doesn't know.
yeah, I guess so. All right. All right. Thanks for being on. I'm gonna hit record now. So
All right, no problem.
You mean unrecorded?
unrecord.
I must bid you adieu, and so, goodbye, Mwah. And good night, bye!